here. I think the third fall, Joe, is going to be a first blood match. And I think Adam Cole's going to win.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I've been wondering, I guess, what that third fall will be. Obviously, making the assumption that it will go 3 falls, because I figure...
Imagine if it doesn't. Sorry, imagine if it's just a big old swerve and there is no third fall. Like, what a letdown.
Yeah. But I think that Adam Cole will win as well. It's just, he needed the title for a while. He finally got it back in June when we were in Bridgeport. And like you said, I think Gargano either has to move on to something else, whether that's outside of NXT or some other feud. I think it's time for him to do something different. And Adam Cole retaining is definitely the move. I don't know what the third fall is going to be. I really don't. Part of me thinks maybe Regal will make it a submission match or something, just to see if that would favor Gargano, and Cole will find a way to pull it out. I'm not really sure. But
question about that. I was thinking about that too. I don't want to cut you off. There's a submission match on SummerSlam. Natalya and Becky. I remember recently, it was like a year ago, they had a match scheduled and they got switched because they were doing the same match the night after.
I think it was a last man standing or something like that.
Okay.
Right? They were gonna, I think it had something to do with Styles and Nakamura maybe doing a last man standing, and they changed. Okay. Something in NXT, something along those lines. Yeah.
What are the options? Really, what could be the option for the third fall?
Well, it's a straight match and then a no DQ match. So they could do, they could do submission. They could do last man standing. They could do, ladder match, Texas bull rope, perhaps. I don't know.
Coal miner's glove.
Judy Bagwell on a pole. I don't know, man. There's a lot of things. I don't know what Commissioner Regal has up his sleeve. Cage. They could lower a cage down if they have a cage up in the arena.
They could announce the show like that. Like they could start the show with Regal, like the lights are dim. You turn maybe a Hell in a Cell, get crazy with it. Just announce a Hell in a Cell match out of nowhere. This has to be the end. True or false, Joe? This has to be the end of the Adam Cole Johnny Gargano feud.
Yeah, it should be. They've been feuding since just before WrestleMania, so it's been mostly 5 months or so, I guess, ever since the Ciampa injury happened. Yeah, this is their third match in the series. You figured they were going to do a third one because they split the first 2 matches, and this is it. So I think that both guys will go in different directions after this show on Saturday.
I'm looking forward to NXT Takeover. I think it's a pretty strong card. Surprised there's no Riddle Bro. There's a lot of people I feel like that are left off this card. But I don't know. It's surprising. Matt Riddle was kind of the in thing. You think this whole Goldberg heat kind of pushed him to the back burner?
Oh, well, I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm not sure. I think they stretched out maybe their plans for him. This is what I had heard in terms of maybe they're just trying to keep him fresh and winning matches on the side. Did they change it, or are there the finals of that breakout tournament supposed to be on this show also?
Well, Joe, that's an excellent question. Because the old Wikipedia that I was looking at did not have the finals of the breakout show, but I could tell you right now. Have you been watching the breakout tournament?
I have been watching it, yes. And the final, I believe, is Cameron Grimes versus Jordan Miles, a.k.a. Trevor Lee versus ACH. But I have been watching the matches on NXT Weekly in that breakout tournament, and I've been a little underwhelmed, to be honest, but I guess that's a separate topic for another time.
That is a separate topic for another time, but I'm looking at 2 cards here. I'm not saying it's not possible, but let me look at the official WWE card. Yeah, it's not on there.
Okay, so maybe they decided to take it out. That's fine.
It was on there for a while, right? I'm not crazy? That was a thing?
I thought they had said the winner, and it would be a takeover, and the winner would get a title shot of their choosing. So maybe maybe I misremember, or maybe they changed it. But that's fine. So we can move on to SummerSlam.
I'm sorry, what?
SummerSlam. Summerfest.
Oh. Summerfest, that's what it was. Joe, before we move on to Summerfest, you look like you're a little exhausted right now. Is it safe to say you've had a long day?
It's been a long day, Mike.
Joe, if I were you and I had those please take one tickets outside of my bedroom door like you do, I would also look like that. I would look tired. I would look exhausted. I would look like there's nothing left in my body. And do you know why? It's because of our friends over at Blue Chew. You've heard all the deals. You've heard that it's $5 shipping and handling, and your first order is free. What does that get you? That gets you all the stuff that the little blue pill, the Viagra, the Cialis, is all in a chewable form. All you got to do is you got to head over to BlueChew.com. You got to use our promo code WPP. I'm trying to think of an anagram for that, but it's not going to be politically correct. So WPP, $5 is all you're going to pay shipping and handling, and you get your first order of Blue Chew on the house. It works in 30 minutes or less. And listen, it takes out all the bad stuff about having to get the blue pill, I would assume. You don't got to go to a doctor. You don't got to pick things up. And, in just a couple of short days for that $5, you can look as tired as the stallion is because, let's just say there was a Groupon to take rides on the stallion this week. And, it was redeemed quite a lot by some lovely local ladies. So kudos to you, Joe. I appreciate you really powering through. I know it was a Gatorade and a turkey sandwich. Right back in the game, baby.
Doing the best I can, buddy.
I appreciate you. Let's get. Speaking of people that are not doing the best they can, let's go over to SummerSlam. Your SummerSlam card: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 matches. Much better than last year's 47 matches. Listen, we're going to go match by match. We're going to give our predictions, but we're not going to go too deep into it because, frankly, I haven't watched SmackDown or Raw in probably 3 months. I've been following the storylines, and the best part about the great video package that WWE does on their pay-per-views gives me all I need to know. So I've been reading up on it. I've been reading the results, reading reviews. So let's get into it. However, something I am following, the opening match on SummerSlam 2019 is the Honky Tonk Man with an open No. Wait a second.
Don't spoil anything for me. I don't want to know who's going to answer that challenge.
No, it was a lug nut. Sorry. Champion Drew Gulak defending his cruiserweight title against Oney Lorcan. Joe, true or false on the spot? Match of the night.
Very well could be. Yeah, it's very very likely. I know Oney had recently.
Rules? You know Oney rules?
Oney rules. Yes, I know he recently earned a #1 contender ship for this title. I would like to see these guys wrestle a lot more in the future. I'm going to say that Gulak will find a way to retain the title on this show, and hopefully they'll have some more good matches to come after that.
I'm with you 100%. Drew Gulak wins. Gulak for a better 205 Live. Gulak for a better WWE. And Gulak for a better Combat Zone. Next up, Goldberg versus Ziggler. Goldberg wins. What do you got?
William Goldberg.
Next up, it's a Legends reunion here. Trish Stratus versus Charlotte. Trish Stratus passes the torch that Charlotte took 4 years ago. Charlotte wins, Joe.
Yeah, the only reason they should have this match is to put Charlotte over, right? So, in Canada, I guess, even with Trish losing in Canada, I don't know. Whatever. Charlotte wins.
Finn Balor versus the Fiend Bray Wyatt. Joe, Bray Wyatt wins.
Bray Wyatt wins. I hope Finn Balor goes away and loses his smile.
Dude, why? That wasn't shooting with the Stallion, but it's a hot take. What's your problem with that?
He smiles too much. Him and Jordan Miles.
I was just going to say.
Really bad.
Next up, Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon. Kevin Owens wins, Joe.
Yes, Kevin Owens should win this match definitively.
Finally, we get to a decent match on the card. Bayley versus Ember Moon for the SmackDown Women's title. What do you got for me?
I'm going to go with Bayley. I don't know. I just don't know if they really have any legit challengers for Bayley at this point. It's nice that she's getting a decent title run. That's cool for her. Ember Moon, I just feel bad. So, Bayley.
I guess I'm going to go with the switch up here. I'm going to go with Ember Moon. Bayley's done a good job, but I feel like Sasha Banks is going to be waiting in the wings. I feel like that's something that's going to happen. She's going to come back sooner rather than later. All this internet BS and whatever. Next up, boy, man, I'm not trying to be that guy, and please don't take it that way, but just looking at this card, top to bottom, it's bad news, Joe. It's bad news. Let's get to a decent match. Champion AJ Styles defending his U.S. title against Ricochet. It should be a good match. Is it safe to say AJ's slowing down a bit, Joe?
I think so. I think that's safe to say. They did just put the club, the OC, back together. So, I don't know. I think the better way to approach this program would be to have AJ find a way to retain by some sort of nefarious means on this show here, and then maybe have Ricochet win at another show or two down the line. Put a little bit more strength behind the OC and give them a little bit of a run for a couple months here. So I'm going to go with AJ.
I'm going to agree with you. Speaking of giving strength to the OC, it's good that they're on the show then, right?
The Raw Tag Team Champions? Yes.
Are they wrestling the Revive? No.
I have no idea.
They're not. Okay, next up we have... let's go with champion Becky Lynch defending her title, Raw Women's title against Natalya in a submission match. Call me crazy. I'm going with the upset here. And I think Natalya is going to get the win over Becky. I don't know how, but maybe Vince is going to give the Canadian fans one here because it looks like you're right. Trish Stratus isn't going to win in Canada. Natalya winning in Canada would be a really cool moment. She's been there forever. She's been through... I can't curse, right? No? Okay. She's been through literally some of the worst garbage. She had the flatulence angle. Give the girl a break. Give her the title in Canada. Do the right thing by her. I'm going Natalya.
I have to say, I am definitely rooting for Natalya pretty significantly in this. I would like to see her win the title in Canada. I am curious to see how the crowd will be for the match because obviously Becky is pretty popular, but Natalya is from Canada, so I don't really know how they're gonna root. But I do think I feel like Becky is going to win, but I am pulling very heavily for Natalya, so I hope that Natalya wins and that you are right.
I mean, is there any... I don't think there's anybody that deserves it more than Natalya. She's been through the Divas garbage. She's been through this. She's been through the stupid thing. She's been there forever. Let her have her moment. And then do whatever you want, but let her have it. Give her like the Zack Ryder treatment if you want. I don't care. Let's go to the WWE title. Champion Kofi Kingston defends his title against Randy Orton. I have such little use for this match that I want you to go first.
I guess my understanding of the way that they've been building it up is they've been referencing their feud from like 10 years ago. I think that Kofi's held the title a lot longer than I expected him to. But I don't think... It just doesn't feel like they would be putting it on Orton here. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I think what they should do is have Kofi keep the title until the first show on Fox and then have him drop it on that show. I think that would be a good way to kick off the Fox era in October.
Pop a rating, if you will.
Perhaps. I don't know who that person would be that he would lose it to, but either or.
Shane McMahon.
I'm going to say... Stop. I'm going to say that... I'm going to say that Kofi retains.
Yep, I'm with you on this one. I think Kofi retains the title. And the main event, Universal Champion Brock Lesnar defends against Seth Rollins. Joe, what's going to happen here? Besides me not watch it.
I'm going to go Brock all the way, baby.
Yep. Brock is definitely going to take it into Fox. And yeah, that's going to be your show. I am wildly underwhelmed at the SummerSlam card, just looking at it. What do you think?
Well, I guess the good thing is there's only 10 matches, so they decided to cut that down a little bit from prior years. We'll see. I mean, some of the matches have decent storylines behind them, but it's the same thing with all their pay-per-views. Really, it's they can have some good matches on the show, but will the crowd stay invested? I guess the good thing is there's no Baron Corbin, so we don't have to worry about that. But there's also no Braun Strowman. There's also no Drew McIntyre.
No Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, so there's a lot of folks that aren't on it. I'm sure maybe they'll add some stuff or some segments, or somebody will try to, drop a lead pipe on Roman Reigns' head or something like that. I don't really know, man.
All those guys that you mentioned, they're not on it, but Shane McMahon is.
Well, I was really hoping they put a stipulation on that where, he would be off TV if he lost, and Owens obviously is supposed to be, fired if he loses. They only seem to, as far as I know, they've only had the one half of it with Owens on it. So maybe this will be the end for the Shane character for a little while.